August. As the summer wears on, rain delays have been less frequent and progress has been steady. But with any construction project, there are bound to be a few self-inflicted growing pains.
So yeah, we had a little excitement here last week. We were doing our usual Tuesday walkthroughs after our project management meetings, and we kind of walked up to the atrium, and pretty amazing space to just stand out and watch. It's really busy, and I was checking it out, and I looked up and I noticed that the floor for the third floor meeting rooms was gone. Vedran, the architect, came up and I said, Vedran, I gotta ask, like, how are we gonna hang those meeting rooms off now? And he goes, yep, that's gonna be a bit of a problem.
So we cut some panels we weren't supposed to cut. You know, heat of the moment, and a snap decision was made, and that sometimes happens on a construction site. You've got panels that go into the atrium. They basically cantilever out into the atrium from this main section of the building, of the east building. We looked at this drawing, figured that these panels were part of the atrium west deck package, and we cut those off.
What I'm really interested in is how the team comes together to solve the problem, how the mistakes get sorted out.
As a city that experienced its construction boom during an energy crisis in the 1970s, having fewer windows and using heavy materials like concrete was a cheap way for Edmontonian builders to cut down on energy demands at the time. But often what got lost in the shuffle was natural light and air quality, factors that can be empirically linked to employee satisfaction and improved productivity. The members of the team at Ecoamo, bombshells as they affectionately call themselves, specialize in showing companies how the environmental efficiency of a building can go beyond looking good in a social responsibility report. It can positively affect a company's bottom line as well.
We help projects, like construction projects, certify with green building certifications. We also will just help any project transition to be green. We provide them the tools. The Mosaic Centre is really important in proving that a sustainable building can be done in Edmonton. Sustainability is implemented from day one. The whole thing is green. How efficient the building is, how they're taking the waste away, where the materials were sourced from. I mean, I know where the wood is from, I know where the steel's from, and it's cool to see it here.
With Ecoamo's expertise in the area, the Mosaic family looked to push the limits of green building further than anything ever attempted in Alberta before. The Living Building Challenge is a sustainable building certification developed and awarded by the International Living Future Institute. It is currently the most ambitious green building certification, with standards even higher than LEED Platinum. The Living Building Challenge is subdivided into 7 petals, containing a total of 20 different imperatives that each address a separate facet of sustainability. While some aspects of the challenge will be unattainable at this juncture, largely due to Edmonton's climate, the Mosaic Centre will strive for petal certification in the areas of sight, beauty, energy, and health.
There's a myriad of different things within the program. So the amount of energy that you produce over the course of a year. The site has to be ecologically sound, and you have to have enough green space that will help the natural ecology grow and flourish.
With the cultural tide turning in favor of more sustainable industries, new businesses are rising to the challenge of servicing the burgeoning market for new energy technology.
So this is the south wall, and you can see here where it kind of incorporates into the west wall. The solar is going to look like an actual part of the building.
Clifton Lofthog started Great Canadian Solar in 2009. Over the last 5 years, the price of solar materials has dropped drastically, making it a much more financially viable option for home and business owners alike.
Over the past, probably 3 years,
we've seen a drop in the cost of solar modules of about 75%. It makes nothing but sense to start incorporating renewables, and that's the vision I saw. On the Mosaic project, we're using a very special module. It's a SunPower X21345, which means absolutely nothing to anybody except us solar geeks, but it's the most efficient module commercially available in the world. Dennis and Christy wanted to have all the energy production for the building done within the footprint of the building.
From day one, the solar component was engineered right into the building. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. Solar's always an afterthought. It's like, okay, we got room, we'll put it on. These guys are like, we're gonna make room to put it on.
So, as you can see, normal module, which is flat, all of a sudden we need to fit it around a corner and have it tie in with the building and look amazing.
These systems are paying off in about 10 to 15 years, and you are guaranteeing your electricity costs for at least 25 years.
There's no question that technological advancements and reduced costs for green energy solutions will have a large part to play in shaping a more sustainable future. But when it comes to reducing waste, sometimes all it takes is a strong commitment to a more efficient process.
We're really blessed in Alberta because we are a fairly wealthy province, and money's always been thrown at problems to solve them. And so we've never been forced to get really lean and to really have to reevaluate the way that we're doing things.
Lean is an approach to workflow initially developed by the Toyota Motor Corporation in the 1980s. The goal of Lean is to increase productivity by eliminating waste. This includes waste produced by overburden or uneven distribution of work and responsibility. Lean spread outside of the manufacturing industry and was implemented in some knowledge-based industries as early as the 1990s. And now, companies like Ecoamo and Chandos are attempting to popularize Lean among the construction trades as well.
Really on this project, we're really trying to look to save a lot of labor, even if we can save 10%. We're trying to do that through processes of Lean. So a simple example of that would be maybe just the way that you're positioning your tools when you're installing a frame. You have them in a nice tidy pile. You know where to find them. That could save you maybe 10 minutes on one door frame. You add that up by 200-300 door frames, it adds up to a lot of labor savings. So that's kind of how we're viewing the Lean concepts on site here and how we're going to start implementing the concepts of Lean here at the Mosaic Centre.
There is so much waste in the form of wasted time, double upping of effort, all of the different things that lean construction takes care of, that then you just, find the money. And the savings you get long-term pays back.
Lean was never intended to refer to the 6 feet of board now missing from the atrium, however. Fortunately, even this issue was no match for the streamlined communication of the integrated project delivery process.
We immediately went right into the shack and we talked about how the mistake happened and some miscommunication, and we made some changes to the documentation literally overnight to make sure that same mistake wasn't going to happen again.
The engineer came up with a really good fix for this. So the panels would be suspended from the walls up above them. So at the end of the day, you won't see really any difference.
Super engaged team, giving us super awesome, super power results. And that's the true IPD process coming to life right there.
The Mosaic Centre is intended to be a flagship building, a definitive example for all parties involved to be able to prove what's possible in terms of green energy and efficient, sustainable building practices. For companies centered around green building, like Ecoamo and Great Canadian Solar, it will allow them to showcase a new standard going forward.
I actually think the Mosaic Centre is an example of a new economic system. I'm throwing it out there, that's huge, but the finances are not just the only value that we're concerned of. There are the happiness factor, there are sustainability issues, there are a myriad of different values that we have. And we're tying financial reward to the values of the project.
The success of these companies exemplifies the potential for a new economy to emerge sooner rather than later, one centered around sustainable energy, as well as integrity and accountability. And at the most recent site meeting at the Mosaic Centre, the owners received some news that will further strengthen their resolve and their dedication to the IPD process. Not only has the crew made up for lost time, the building is now dramatically ahead of schedule.
So what happened in there, Mark and Chris got the team together, and turns out that we're not going to be finishing in March anymore, or May like originally expected. Looks like we got a move-in date of January 30th now. We're delivering the first net zero building in Alberta 6 months ahead of schedule.